Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with Korean fried chicken sauce. That's right, not only is this an incredibly delicious sauce recipe video, it's also a huge spoiler, because now you totally know what's coming next. And what's coming next is Korean fried chicken, probably the world's greatest fried chicken recipe. And if you want to enjoy it in its full glory, you're going to need to make this sauce. The good news is it's super easy. So first up, we're going to dump some ketchup into a saucepan. And are we using our homemade ketchup recipe? Of course not. Who has time to make ketchup? I'm also going to throw in a big handful of chopped green onions, along with a nice big spoon of finely minced garlic. And then since this is basically a sweet and sour sauce, we're going to sweeten this up a little bit with some honey. So I'm going to put in a couple tablespoons of local honey, because really, why would you import honey? And besides, if the local bees find out you're not using their honey, they will be more likely to sting you. Proven fact, okay? And then to the sweet, we need some heat. And I'm going to do that with a combination of red chili flakes and a little spoon of sambal, which of course you know is a delicious ground chili sauce we use all the time. And of course, we're supposed to be using Korean chili flakes and chili paste, but you may not be able to find that. And if not, this easier to find combo will work perfectly. But basically, any kind of hot pepper is going to do the trick. We're also going to season this up a little bit with a pinch of salt, along with some freshly ground black pepper. And then for the last official ingredients, we're going to squeeze in the juice of one lemon, a real lemon, a fresh lemon from a tree. And of course, we need that acidity to balance the sweetness in the honey and the heat from those chilies. So we'll squeeze that in, and that's pretty much it. We're going to give that a mix with the whisk. And at this point, I'll give my standard ethnic food disclaimer. This is just my take on Korean fried chicken sauce. I think I put in a little more green onions and garlic than is usually called for. And also, I don't cook mine quite as long. Which reminds me, that's the next step. So all we're going to do is simmer this gently for about 5 minutes. And to make that a little easier, I'm going to splash in some water so the mixture does not get too thick as it cooks. I'm going to set my heat to medium-high and simply wait for this to start bubbling. And as soon as it does, we'll simply lower our heat a little bit, maybe medium-low, to maintain a nice gentle simmer. All right, just nice little bubbles, maybe one step past the danho stage. You know, every once in a while I do enjoy throwing in a reference that Grandma will like. But anyway, like I said, all we're going to do is let that simmer like that for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally, of course. In fact, I switched to the freakishly small but oddly wide wooden spoon. I just got tired of how that whisk felt on the bottom of the pan. So I switched to the softer and quieter wood. But anyway, like I said, give that a stir once in a while. Simmer it gently for about 5 minutes. And as far as the viscosity goes, you can obviously add a little more water if you want it thinner, or a little less if you want it thicker. You are, of course, the boss of your KFC sauce. And when mine was done, it looked like this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. And yes, you can serve this hot or warm, which in that case you would taste and adjust the seasoning right here. But since I'm going to serve mine at room temperature, that's the temperature I want to taste and adjust. Okay, you know the rule of thumb. Always taste it at the temp you're going to serve it. So I let mine cool, I transferred it into a serving container, and that Korean fried chicken sauce is done. And then this would usually be the time where we pour this over something and taste it, and I tell you how great it is. But we're not going to do that. So for now, you're just going to have to take my word for it that this is an incredibly tasty and well-balanced sauce, and it really is fantastic on so many things. Except I don't want you to serve it with so many things. I want you to serve it on Korean fried chicken, which is the next video. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, I really hope you give this a try. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.